I'm here with Chris Gotterup, winner of the opening tournament of the PGA Tour season, the Sony Open in Hawaii at Waialahe Country Club. 16 under par, 64 on Sunday, and your third victory on the PGA Tour in 3 years. Congratulations, Chris. What a week.
Yeah, thank you. It was a lot of fun, and a great way to start up the year, and couldn't have asked for a better way to kick off 2026.
Yeah, you can't win them all if you don't win the first, you know? You were the second to last tee time on Sunday, couple shots back. Compared to your previous two wins, what was different within yourself that allowed you to come out victorious on Sunday at the Sony?
Yeah, it was definitely a different circumstance in the fact that I was definitely chasing a little bit more than being in the lead or tied for the lead. And it was one of those days where it just felt like someone was going to do something that you had to top. Like it was not very windy to start the round, and you just felt like someone was going to go shoot a low round, and it happened to be me. And I just really tried to hang in the fight as long as I could, and tried to stay in it, and not throw myself out of the tournament with a bad shot or a mistake. And I did a really good job of that.
Where were those pivotal holes for you on Sunday that you felt like momentum was going in your direction?
12 and 13 were the two holes where it was like, this is I have a chance to win this tournament, and then it was I have full control of this tournament. And for me, um, I just really the back nine, I really hunkered down and made some good swings and hold some clutch putts that ultimately kind of swung into my favor. But I mean, you can look at 17 too. 17 was a big hole, but in a different circumstance. 12 and 13 kind of separated me, and 17 was kind of like the nail in the coffin. Um, but yeah, it's a lot of fun, and it's exhausting, grinding it out and trying to beat a lot of good players.
Yeah, no kidding. Another part of your game that was in full control was off the tee. You led the field in strokes gained off the tee, averaging 320 yards. The driver has always been a huge weapon in your bag. Specifically with the new Bridgestone Tour BX, what stood out to you about the ball playing at the Sony when you're needing precision and distance?
Yeah, I had been messing around at home with the new ball for a couple months, and I wouldn't put it in play if it wasn't really good. And yeah, first week out to go win is cool, and um, it's something that I take it for granted because you don't even think about it really when you're playing, which is nice. I know the ball that I have is going to help me perform, and to be able to kind of take advantage of some of the shorter holes and even tougher par fours, and have wedges in, and knowing where my ball is going if I'm making good swings. It's a really freeing feeling.
What would you say was the best tee shot you hit?
Under the circumstances, I would say 16. Just because that hole, if I could build a hole that's not built for me, it's 16 at While the hard dog leg right with the wind off the left. And um, in the years past, that hole has given me the fits, and I stood up there and hit a little draw into the wind, and right in the middle of the fairway. So that was probably the most like, all right, I've got control of what I'm doing, swing and tee shot.
But you also talked about being in control of your brain. Bridgestone talks a lot about separating the analytical thoughts with athletic performance. How did the mindset technology on the golf ball help you be in control mentally?
Yeah, it's something that I use depending on the shot that I'm playing. Obviously, we can't move the ball with our hands during the tournament, but off the tee and on the greens, usually I use it for lag putting. Just something to think about. So I kind of separate my thoughts into segments of speed, line, and feel and all that good stuff. So for me, it kind of helps me just compartmentalize certain things rather than it being all mushed together and you kind of forget what it all is. I kind of take my steps with the process of the mindset ball, and it allows me to just think a little bit more clearly and saves me a shot or two, which is important down the stretch.
Yeah, compartmentalization is so important in golf, which is why all of you guys say one shot at a time, staying in the process, mindset, all kind of goes in the same bubble. You mentioned it wasn't windy on Sunday to start. It can get very windy in Hawaii in general. How does the Tour BX help you control that trajectory in the wind when conditions can get pretty gusty?
Yeah, I mean, Friday and Saturday there was up there with windiest rounds I've played on tour. And ever since, the first day that I went to Bridgestone headquarters and did the ball testing, it's been a ball that is really, really good in the wind. We were, I've told this story 20 times, but we were out there in Atlanta on the first time I was at the facility, and it was blowing 30 miles an hour into our face, and the robot was hitting Bridgestones, and then the robot was hitting all the other balls, and the Bridgestones were like not moving, and all the other balls were getting thrown around in the wind. Um, and to be able to know I have control if I'm hitting good quality iron shots out there and even tee balls, and um, it allows me to take a little bit maybe more aggressive lines, or just feel like I have a little bit more control, and the wind doesn't have as much of an impact on my ball, which is a huge bonus.
100%. You've talked about having as much distance as possible, maximizing that with the new Tour BX, as well as precision and accuracy in the wind. What about feel around the greens? A lot of players really emphasize the importance of that. How does the Tour BX give you that balance with maximizing distance but also having that spin control?
Yeah, I think back to when I first started testing Bridgestone too. I'd always played other balls, and it's it's the first thing that I do whenever I was testing new balls. I go chip some, and you hit a couple, and you're like, "Whoa, that feels way different." It just it's it's hard to describe. It's just like the feeling of a really good iron shot. But when you hit a good chip and it does exactly how you feel like it's going to do when it comes out the club face, it's just a really, really nice feeling. And it also is very predictable. If you feel like you hit a good chip, the result should be what you feel. And I feel like with the Bridgestone ball, I've had a very consistent feel and performance with the ball around the greens. And for me, I like to be able to hit low kind of spinning shots, and the ball does just that for me. And it's been really good.
What were some clutch up and downs, whether for par or birdie around the par fives this week at the
Yeah,
Sony that were stick out in your mind?
yeah. Well, I mean, the first one that sticks out to me is I hold out the bunker shot on two. Um, it's either the first day or second day, um, and the last round I got up and down on nine from over the green, and really just even when I missed, I was purposely, if I missed the fairway, I was purposely hitting it in the bunker or in the rough, trying to give myself a good up and down lie, because I knew I just had a good feel with my short game and the ball, and I had total faith that I was going to get it up and down, and didn't really think twice about it.
Well, that is a very exciting feeling to have,
Yeah,
considering the nerves that
it
can
doesn't
come
it
with,
doesn't happen all the time, that's for sure.
no, with trying to win a PGA Tour event. What are you most excited, or what excited you the most this week about your game that you had been working on in the off season?
Um, I think the exciting thing for me is I think the thing that I've been working on still can use a little work. I think my wedge game was fine, but it did not. Especially the last round, I had a lot of relatively easy wedges, and didn't really. Not that I hit bad shots, just didn't really quite execute to the highest level. And I think it's exciting for me to win and still feel like I have room for improvement.
What will your next event be, and how will you spend your time between then?
Torrey Pines is my next event. Right now, I'm just getting back and trying to get settled and get my body back in good shape after a long flight from California, from Honolulu to California, and then um, back home for a little bit. So hanging out, get back, and then I'm going to play Torrey Pines next. So a little different style of golf. I got to work on getting the ball in the air a little bit more, and yeah, I'm excited for the test, Torrey.
Well, we will be excited to watch you, Chris. Congratulations, winning the Sony Open, your third PGA Tour event, and we're so excited at Bridgestone to get to watch the rest of your season.
Thank you. I appreciate it.